Alrighty. Item number two, we have performance blocking and deadlocks. Learn to read what SQL Server is telling you. I think we can kind of jump. We don't want to, like I said, we don't want to dive too deep into the topic, but the big picture is these are three separate items that SQL Server will tell you about, and you need to know how to handle each one of them. They go hand in hand, but handling each one of them requires a little bit different process as far as to what to do to fix them.
So I'll start with performance, right? So I had what I think one or two classes in college for SQL Server management, and I don't really think they gave us a real test database. They just kind of said make your own and test the queries and do this and that. And I had a really small database, not a whole lot of rows or whatnot. And it's not really good practice to do queries on a really tiny database if you're trying to like become a DBA. Like you need an actual real big test database because one of the first things you realize when you get to a live production system is these tables are ginormous sometimes. Like I've seen tables with thousands of columns, and that select star that select star query works real good when you have 5 columns, but when you have thousands, a whole lot more data to move over. And there's a whole book to be written on how to tune queries and affect and adjust performance. And college just doesn't teach you enough of that. So I think one of the first things you need to know is how to find what is impacting your performance, and then use the internet resources, AI now to, with due diligence, what knowing where your slowness and blocking is half the battle, and then so I guess that ties into blocking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to go back to the college discussion. Is we both have slightly different college backgrounds. I went for management information systems, and you were networking.
It was a general network security, IT, cybersecurity degree. It had like 3 different names on it.
Gotcha. So slightly different like paths. I had a few more SQL Server courses. I think I went through four overall, and I want to say that MIS is a bit more of a like a DBA type focus, or people that want to be DBAs will often use that degree. But even then, like you said, college didn't teach me how to performance tune queries. Like it didn't teach me what blocking and deadlocks were, like how to find them and fix them, and the core root of those problems. It's all tied into performance, like blocking and deadlocks, but each one of the slightly different. Actually getting into production and seeing like, hey, we have people waiting on this software because SQL Server is blocking itself, or two queries are blocking inside of SQL Server. How can we make that faster? And looking at our tool database health monitor at the blocking chain and being like, oh, this query is a big pig. We need to trim it down and either split it up into different transactions, or not different transactions, but split it up into different processes. The million different ways you can take a stab at performance tuning.
Yeah, that's the other thing is the you don't realize how important like an index is in college, but the day you add an index and it makes a query go from taking an hour to run to 15 seconds, you realize how powerful they can be. But yeah, we have tools in Database Health Monitor for understanding indexes, for finding missing indexes, for finding out of date indexes.
Yeah, there's tons of different tools just for index performance. We have both the blocking and the deadlocks report as well on an instance level and on the database level, and they're each going to tell you slightly different things. Like blocking, it can clear itself eventually. Deadlock SQL Server is going to actually kill one of those processes and declare a winner, so one can get through. And that's where you have to figure out. I mean, even performance tuning like deadlocks, if your deadlocks are coming from two processes that are scheduled to run at the same time, maybe the performance tuning is just changing the schedule. So it's not just butting heads the entire time. So that's where we go back to Database Health Monitor as a junior DBA, utilize that tool and see what's happening behind the scenes of performance before just saying, hey, this query is slow. Let's rewrite the whole thing. Why is that query slow? What else is it affecting? X, Y, and Z. I mean, we have a whole class on performance tuning. We have podcasts on performance tuning. Jump into those and figure out where to start with that.
But going back to job security, if you can make your database run better, you're gonna earn that raise real quick, or hopefully really quickly, if you can make the entire system run quickly in your first few months or a year as a new DBA.
Yes, definitely. Greasing the wheels is a great way to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that gains our customers trust, like right away, is when we come in and make their slow system fast. Like they're just like, holy cow, like we didn't even think about this being possible. And a lot of people, when they get to the point where they need to hire a DBA, it's because they get, the first thing sysadmins will do when when they when they have a database that's running slow is they'll just throw more resources at it. That only goes so far, and eventually they're just like, okay, I mean, we can't throw more resources at it; it's too expensive. Let's hire a DBA or contract a DBA to actually figure out why it's using so much resources.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the throwing resources at a server just to make it go faster, we kind of covered that in the last podcast we did with the query looting ramp. Is our performance assessment tool, or one of our performance assessment tool. It's in the suite. It comes with Database Health Monitor, but it's a great way to stop throwing resources at a machine and actually test the queries that you need to test. That was a really fun podcast. If you haven't listened to it, go back. That's going to be episode 11, I believe. But that'll be out by the time this one's out. So give that one a listen. Alrighty. Is there anything else on performance? I'm trying to think. I mean, I could keep talking about each one of these for forever as far as what we do, what recommendations we can make, but we still got to make it through 3 more topics.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, in the end, understand what's available to you. Understand, like, if you have the ability to throw more resources at it, it's a good short-term fix, but you also have to balance that with actually tuning and making sure that everything's running smoothly. Or sometimes the resources are thrown at the machine poorly, so like maybe they just added a ton of RAM and didn't even add any CPU, or maybe they added a whole bunch of CPU and the memory is still like really low, or maybe the whole thing's running on like this really old NAS that's got spinning disks, and you have flash storage now, so maybe just moving the whole SQL Server over to flash storage would make things better. But yeah, just kind of looking at all the different resources that can affect queries and understanding like how it all ties into each other is super important. And we could go into it for hours, but it's just, I think it's one of those things you just got to go play around in your own environment and figure out what needs to improve where.
Yeah, we even said there's a million different ways to stab at performance. Like we could pull up 100 different queries and figure out different ways to tune them. So it's not, the overview of this section is not, there's not one right way to do it. It's just you need to get in there and grease the wheels. You need to make things faster, and you need a tool that's going to bring the problems to light. So that's, I think, the biggest, if I had to summarize point number 2, bring light to the performance issues so you can fix them.
Thanks for watching. I'm Steve, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like it, please click the thumbs up icon. And if you want to subscribe, click subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to get notified when we have new videos. All right, have a great day.